Studies Simplified. I am Dr. Ankita Kotecha and today's topic is updated non-specific plaque hypothesis. I know many of you are not aware of this hypothesis because it is not mentioned in any of the standard textbooks of periodontics, but it is nicely explained in one of the research journal article, and that article in turn is cited in Carranza, that is textbook of periodontics. And that compelled me to make a separate detailed video on this particular hypothesis called updated non-specific plaque hypothesis. Now this hypothesis will be dealt a little differently. That is, to understand what is updated in this updated non-specific plaque hypothesis, we will have a brief summary of the previous two hypotheses, that is non-specific and specific plaque hypothesis. A few points. That is, for non-specific plaque hypothesis, please remember, it said all plaque are equally pathogenic and all microbes can cause the disease. And the drawbacks of that hypothesis, such as patients who showed plaque, calculus and gingivitis but never developed periodontitis. And second, patients who developed periodontitis showed site specificity. Whereas for specific plaque hypothesis, specific microorganisms causes periodontal disease. Now, what Thiele in the year 1986, please remember this person gave updated non-specific plaque hypothesis. Thiele in the year 1986, after going through the entire research literature about both the hypotheses, what he told, what he concluded, that this point, all microbes can cause the disease, stands true. That is, he discarded or he disagreed with specific plaque hypothesis. He said rather than specific microorganisms causing the disease, all microorganisms can cause disease, stands true, is justified. Now how they cause disease is the main point. That is, all microorganisms can cause disease by participating or contributing in one or the either events in the sequence of pathogenesis of the periodontal disease. That is, let's say entry, colonization, growth and multiplication, triggering the inflammation and hence the disease. Okay. So yes, Thiele said all microorganisms do participate, do contribute in causing the periodontal disease. What he updated, that is, even though he supported non-specific plaque hypothesis, please pay attention why this hypothesis is called updated non-specific plaque, because Thiele somehow supported or agreed with non-specific plaque hypothesis, that is all microbes can cause disease. What he updated is this point. Very important, please pay attention. All plaque are equally pathogenic. What Thiele said, all plaque are not equally pathogenic. And this is the updated point in this updated non-specific plaque hypothesis. So, in a way, Thiele updated the already existing non-specific plaque hypothesis by updating this point that all plaque are equally pathogenic to all plaque are not equally pathogenic. See, he said plaque is definitely pathogenic because a non-pathogenic plaque does not exist. Wherever there is plaque, there is gingivitis at least. And gingivitis is not a state of health, it is a disease, inflammation. So plaque is definitely pathogenic. But the plaque cannot be equally pathogenic everywhere. The pathogenicity of plaque varies from site to site or case to case or in health versus disease. So that is the point which he tried to update in, and hence he gave updated non-specific plaque hypothesis. See, the plaque is not equally pathogenic. The pathogenicity of plaque varies from case to case or site to site, and the pathogenicity of plaque depends on its bacterial composition. And now we all know different bacteria have different virulence factors and different pathogenic potentials. Some are more virulent, more pathogenic, some are less virulent, less pathogenic. So if a plaque contains more pathogenic bacteria, that plaque will be more pathogenic, and if the plaque contains less pathogenic bacteria, that plaque will be less pathogenic. It's as simple as that. Now the question arises, how is this updated point so relevant? The relevance is the drawbacks. If you remember the two drawbacks associated with non-specific plaque hypothesis, that is patients who presented with plaque and calculus and gingivitis as well but never developed periodontitis. How do you justify the scenario? Yes, it is possible. Assume the plaque in that case was less pathogenic, that is with less pathogenic and less virulent bacteria. That is why the disease did not progress from gingivitis to periodontitis. Easy, explainable. So the drawback number 1 is justified, that the plaque in their case was less pathogenic, so the disease did not progress to periodontitis. Fair enough. And the second drawback, patients who developed periodontitis showed site specificity, that is certain sites showed full-fledged activity of disease and certain sites were disease-free or clinically healthy. Now how do you justify that? Again the same point. Assume the plaque at the site where there is disease activity is highly pathogenic and the plaque at the site which is disease-free is less pathogenic. Again justified. So yes, this updated point in this hypothesis was able to justify the drawbacks associated with non-specific plaque hypothesis. So in a way, this updated hypothesis revolved around non-specific plaque hypothesis and updated the only point of non-specific plaque hypothesis, that is all plaque are equally pathogenic to all plaque are not equally pathogenic, but the pathogenicity of plaque varies depending on its bacterial composition, and also the updated point justified the drawbacks or the contradictory findings associated with non-specific plaque hypothesis. So that's all about updated non-specific plaque hypothesis. I hope this hypothesis is clear. Although this hypothesis is more relevant to postgraduates for their examinations, undergraduates may face a few questions on this in their viva voce at least, if not theory examination. I have attached the research journal article in the description box below for your reference and easy understanding. If you still have any doubts, any queries, or you want to request any other topic or question, feel free to write them in the comment section below or mail them at dentalstudiessimplified@gmail.com. Also, like my videos, share it with your friends and colleagues, and subscribe to my channel to get notification of my upcoming videos. Thank you for watching and listening to me. Study well. Have a good day.